Hello. Hello. ¿Cómo están? Bien, ojalá. Yo un poco cansadito. Tired. I don't know why I don't do anything, but anyway, it just gets tiring. Se pone muy cansada la cosa aquí. eh, Por tanto, estar aquí sentadito y haciendo nada. Bueno, pues estamos haciendo algo, pero ay, Dios mío, es bien difícil, ¿verdad? Es bien difícil. Ahora vamos a hablar del Evangelio, de las lecturas, para ver cómo podemos aplicarlas a nuestra vida, ¿verdad? Les prometí eso hoy. Vamos a empezar en el nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo. Amén. Vamos a pedir a Dios que nos ayude a meditar hoy, especialmente en el amor de Dios. Vamos a pedir a Dios que nos ayude a aprender más de las lecturas de este domingo para disfrutarlas más. Vamos a pedir a Dios que nos ayude a rezar por las personas que necesitan todo más que nosotros. Que nos ayude Dios a que hagan preguntas también. Ojalá. Maybe. Rezar por las intenciones, lo pedimos por Cristo nuestro Señor. Amén. Esta es una 45 minutos de oración, ¿verdad? En un modo muy especial. Porque a veces pensamos que la oración es nomás rezar así y no de veras rezar con todo lo que somos. No somos perfectos, no somos dioses, no somos ángeles, no somos humanos, y tenemos que ver las cosas como ser humanas y no pietísticas, así nomás rezar para que, nomás para ser personas reales así, ¿verdad? O personas ricas o así, ¿verdad? Tenemos que protegernos de eso. Okay, vamos entonces. Oh, what am I speaking Spanish for? It's supposed to be English. I get confused sometimes because I do Spanish and then I do English, and sometimes I speak in English and the Spanish, and they're all sending me little notes. Stop it. Okay, so we're going to talk about, we're going to have a nice story about what the gospel and the readings are about this Sunday, that God is very patient with us and he loves us. So I will tell you a story about two young kids who were in an Italian city. Okay, well, it was not a city, it was a small Italian church. Um, and it was in the city. Uh, and so Rome, close to Rome, and the two altar boys were preparing for benediction. The boy on this side, on the right, is the important one. And so they were arguing which one was going to go on the right. And they started fighting and they started shoving each other. And the shocked people were like, oh my God, the people were in front ready to participate and they were alarmed and they saw this commotion and and one of them, his name was Francesco Castiglione, he knocked the other guy on the head with a candlestick. Can you imagine? Blood dripping from the other kid's name was Hannibal de la Genga. That was his last name. And the people began to scream, throw them out, throw them out. So the priest, he was embarrassed. He grabbed them and threw them out the door, tossed them out of the church. And now let's fast forward from 1770 to 1825. Okay, we're going to jump to that date. From 1770 to 1825, and 500,000 people gathered in Rome. It was what they called the Holy Year. And they have the Holy Door, and they open it. They have a little hammer made of silver and stuff like that. Well, it wasn't really that little. It was pretty big. So they go bong, bong, bong. Then they open the big doors. And traditionally, it's called the Holy Door, open to the Holy Door of St. Peter's Basilica, the huge, gigantic church, the largest Christian church around. And so the Pope would hit ceremoniously 3 times on the door and sing, open up the doors of justice. And on the third knock, the door would be opened and the people would come through. And what's the symbolism? The symbolism is rich because people are coming from all over the world back home to the church, following their leader through the great Porta Fidei, the great door of faith. And so that Jubilee year, in front of thousands of pilgrims, Cardinal de la Genga made his way to the door. It was 55 years after that candlestick incident, and Cardinal de la Genga had become Pope Leo XII, and he was nearing the door and turning to the cardinal beside him, and it was Cardinal Castiglione. The Pope said, "Let me have the hammer." And he said, "Oh, you just like I gave you the candlestick." Smashed him with it before, and he smiled. And he says, 4 years later, Castiglione followed his friend and became Pope, taking the name of Pius the Eighth. Now, if you told all those people in 1770 that were in the pew yelling, throw them out, that they were throwing out two future popes, they would have laughed at you. They would have laughed you out of the building. But the gospel gives us the good news that God can change even weeds to wheat. And today's gospel gives us the new good news that God can change us if we want to, and that God is patient. He'll wait, but He can only wait so long, and then you're going to die in whichever way you die, and what state you die in. Not state like Columbus, or I mean like California or things like that, but the state, the level in which you die. Like, for instance, if you die with a mortal sin on your soul, well, you're not going to get to heaven, and forever you're going to be separated from God. That to me is pretty scary. Okay, that to me is very scary. And also, all these things are going on in the church, those bad things. Well, we have to be careful, not to accept them, but not to condemn, because you never know. One never knows. Okay. So, what are the life messages? What should we do? Well, the first reading tells us what? To be patient, like God is patient. And we need to get everything done perfectly this week. But what if we don't? So what? But we must be patient with others, those who annoy us by the way they drive their cars, by the way they have lousy opinions that they're different from us, by those who make too much noise and disturb us, and those making our spiritual progress, trying to be good people, more difficult by their bad example and counter witnesses. They're not witnessing being Jesus's, they're witnessing the opposite. So, but let us patiently and lovingly treat the weeds, like God says, leave the weeds in there. And then at the end, we'll take the weeds and throw them to the fire, and the good stuff we'll keep for food. Okay. So that's what he's saying. And God judges, nobody else. So don't be telling people, oh, you're in sin and you do this. We don't know. Okay. We don't know what people are in sin or not. Oh, but they didn't go to church. How do you know the reason why they didn't go to church? Ooh. And then you begin to realize, wow, I shouldn't be judging people. Okay. The first reading is from the book of wisdom, remember? And it's reminding us of how God is tolerant, remember, and merciful. And He loves everything that He made. And because He is the number one person in the whole universe, He's the master of His great own power. So that's all He's saying in that little. Well, He's saying a lot, but that's what the capsule summary is. That God has shown us in this reading that He's powerful and wise, that He doesn't have to be vengeful or incorrect to punish. He loves people. He wants them to go to heaven. And then the second reading is from St. Paul. He's going toward Rome, and he wrote the letter to them before he got there, just as an introductory thing. And that's where he died. He was killed. And he's telling us how helpless we are sometimes if we want to just be just on our own, just say, I'm going to pray my own way and all that stuff. But shows us how the Holy Spirit is the one that's empowering us. And when we don't feel like praying or we don't know what to pray for, the Holy Spirit will pray with us and for us. So he says, when things aren't doing well, St. Paul says that, when we don't even know how to pray, and when when we're weak, then we could go to the Holy Spirit and He takes over. And then They'll go up to God and say, look, this guy's trying really hard. Help him out. And that's nice. St. Paul understands well the power of prayer and the centrality of the Holy Spirit in our lives. So the real message of this reading is that we should be patient with ourselves, because even at our worst moments, the Holy Spirit is there guiding us, acting in us, bringing us, though we may not recognize his action, bringing us along to heaven with his lover, because the Holy Spirit's the love between the Father and the Son. Okay, that's nice. And then, of course, the last reading is the Gospel, and it shows us how God's really, really merciful. Don't mess with the weeds, the bad people, because they might change into good people. But if they don't, well, they're going to go into the fires of everlasting. Ooh. But there's no fire down there because there's only spirits. They won't feel it. Spirits don't have parts or a body, or they're not material. It's spiritual. We don't understand that. We can't see them. Okay. If he could see God, he wouldn't be God, because he's a spirit. He can perform miracles and present him as a human being, and he did that in Jesus, but he's not God, 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 the immortal God, the one that didn't have any beginning. We don't see sometimes like he sees. It would be beautiful if we did. Okay, very good. So you did all that. There was somebody who sent me a note, but some of you still don't send me notes. Like you don't send me um, some projects or some products or something that you want me to talk about, and then I get tongue-tied and I don't talk about it too much. But it would be nice if you ask questions. Like somebody asked a question about tattoos. Is it a sin? No, unless you put nasty tattoos on. But other than that, tattoos are tattoos. But the sin is for some young kids that are not 18 yet to put tattoos on without their parents knowing. That's ugly, because you're disobeying your parents if they don't like it. You can like them all you want. Wait till you're 18 and then you can do whatever you want. Not really. But you can at least have the power to do that. But while you're living with your parents, you have to obey them. And no matter what, except in sin. You can't do. Come on, let's go sin. No. But other than that, you have to obey your parents. You have to obey your parents. Now, some of them are very raunchy parents, and they don't take care of you. You have to. You have to be. You have to be obedient. That's important. Otherwise, you're not obeying God, because that's why God gave you parents, to take care of you and to represent Him on this planet. And I'm falling asleep because I stayed up late last night again. Somebody invited me to watch another movie with him, and he's here right now, Joey Lopez. And there's Jeanette Nolte. How's everybody in your family, Jeanette? Aha, very good. So today I have a nice story for you. Um, we're still going over the gospel. Um, and we talked to the story about those two little boys that were rotten altar boys, and they told them to throw them out of the church because they were beating up each other. And later on, they both became popes. If the people only knew, okay, if they only knew that these kids were going to be popes. Little did they know, huh? It's amazing. So sometimes we talk about the weeds and the wheat. You know, Jesus said that. He says, "Leave them alone. Don't mess with them, um, with people. Let them stay. If you see some people that are really mean, well, let them stay, and you never know if they're going to be influenced. Hmm? That's the idea. You never know. Look at those two kids who were beating each other up with candlesticks. How they changed. Isn't that amazing? There was a there was this village where it was plagued with sheep thieves. Okay, and it was about time they learned their lesson. And in those days, they didn't have like prisons we have. They just killed the person or told them to get out of town. And what these guys did was they had brands, you know, like the ones you brand animals with. They're really, really hot, and you put them on their skin, and it leaves. You press it on the skin, it leaves like an S and a J. It's San Jose. This belongs to the people from San Jose. So they used to brand them with these burning poker things, and what they did, if they caught anybody in this town, this is in medieval times, okay, many, many, many eons ago. And if they caught them, they would brand them like adultery. They would put a big A right here, burn an A that would stay there forever. Okay. Now they were stealing a lot of sheep in those days, and then they caught these two guys and they put ST on them, and so it was embarrassing. But as the year passed, um, people forgot about what the meaning was. Sheep thieves. And years later, the man that was the two of them, well, one of them died when he was 90 years old. So they put him in the church, and he changed his life. He went from a bad seed to a good seed. And then little kids would ask their dads, "What does that mean?" And he goes, "We don't know. Ask your grandpa." And then he goes, "Grandpa, what does that ST on the man's forehead mean?" He goes, "Saint, ST, period, saint." Isn't that nice? That's a nice story. I like that story. That's a good story because you never know who's going to be the weeds and who's going to be the good seed, the nice plants that grow from that. That'd be nice. Okay, those. Did you ever see Schindler's List? Anybody? Did anybody ever see Schindler's List? No. That happened in what do you call it? It was made in 1993. God, I can't believe it's been so long. It's like I just saw it yesterday. And it tells the story of Oskar Schindler. Okay, he was a businessman, and he saved the lives of more than 1,000 Polish Jews. 1,000, that's a lot of Polish Jews during the Holocaust, remember? And the film is based on the novel. And it was really successful. The film it got 7 Academy Awards. Wow. And so he was a successful businessman, and he arrives in Poland from Czechoslovakia, and he's hoping to use cheap labor. He knows people are being used like slaves. So he was a nominal Catholic. He was Catholic, but he was just in name only. He didn't go to church, and he just went on maybe Easter or something like that. And so he used to give bribes, bribe the army officials, and he acquired a factory, and he put all these Jews in charge, huh? and he was doing a production of mess kids. You know what a mess kid is? Mess means a place where the mess hall where people eat, soldiers. And he was a mixture of good and evil. He was unfaithful to his wife. He certainly knows how to enjoy the good life, like cigars and drink and women. And he exploited his Jewish workers as a source of cheap labor. But as he witnesses those horrible things that were going on in the camps, and how the poor Jews endured all those horrible things, the good elements started waking up in his character. And so he starts saving Jews using his immense wealth and his political influence. And it was at a great personal risk. He could have been killed. But he protects the workers from the death camps and showing them that he is a courageous man and basically good. Okay. So in today's gospel, Jesus tells the parable of the wheat and the weeds, remember? And he explains how we are all a mixture of good and evil, and why God tolerates us, and how it tolerates evil even in our lives. Sometimes we're not very nice and good and all that. But anyway, those are nice stories. Now we're going to do meditation. Remember, we did meditation yesterday, but we're going to do it quietly this time. Some of you are making too much racket, so turn off your microphones. See, you go up there to where it says microphone, and you say, it says on or off, okay, or something like that. And so you can put it off for a while and close your phones and don't listen to take the ringing away. And then after that, you okay. And so I'm listening. Well, anyway, somebody invited me yesterday to watch a film, and it was very good, a good movie. And it's a friend of mine, and we had a nice time. So we're going to have meditation now. And what we're going to do is we're going to do what we did yesterday. You have to close your eyes, put your hands on your laps if you're sitting down, and then put your legs your your calves at a bottom of like a 45-degree angle. Well, like you're sitting in a chair, but with your feet straight down and not sticking out like that and comfortably, but put them straight up like that. And in a 90-degree angle. And then close your eyes and put your hands flat on your lap. Okay, ready? Okay. Now you're going to be very relaxed and you're going to have your breathing's going to slow down till you can hardly even, but now you can hear it, and you can hear your heart beating, and you can hear your breath going in and breath going out. Your breath going in and breath going out, and you have your eyes closed, and you're breathing in and out, and your breathing is slowing down, and now you feel the relaxation going from your feet. All your little toes are relaxed. You feel so relaxed. And it's going up your calves, the back of your legs, bottom legs, and also your shins, the front part of them. And so you feel, excuse me, the relaxation going up your legs and then up to your knees. And you feel really relaxed. You're breathing in and you're breathing out. And you feel the relaxation traveling up your lap, your legs, and behind your legs. You feel the relaxation going up to your tummy and to your abs. You feel your abs just melting away in relief and in your relaxation, and you feel very relaxed. And then again, your breathing is slowing down, and now you feel your fingers are all relaxed of your hand, the palm of your hand lying on your on your lap, and your lap is very relaxed, and the relaxation is traveling up your legs and goes up to your abdomen, and then all of a sudden up to your chest, and you feel so relaxed, and your breathing is breathing in. uh Very relaxed, very relaxed. Now the relaxation is going up your forearms, up your biceps and triceps to feel very relaxed. And now up from the front and from the back, from your spine and the back, the relaxation is traveling up to your neck and around your face. Your eyes are very relaxed. You cannot open them. Your mouth is very relaxed. Everything's very relaxed. Your hair is beautiful, beautifully relaxed. Feel very relaxed. Now we're going to go from 10 to 1, and we're going to go deeper and deeper into relaxation. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're the deepest part of relaxation ever. You're totally relaxed. Your eyes are relaxed, very relaxed. And your breathing is slowing down, and now you see Jesus coming up the street, and you meet him and you embrace him, and he says hi to you, and let's go see my father. So you go to this cloud looking thing, and you see lights emanating, and you see the father, and the father looks at you. Remember, he has a spirit only, but he's materializing himself before you in a way. So it's a vision, so you can see him, and you feel so great, and you feel like you're going to be good for the rest of your life, but you don't. Because the relaxation is taking you into a beautiful relationship with Jesus. And so you're there with Jesus, and then Jesus takes you to the Father, and you're with the Father, and you're totally relaxed, and the Father is going to tell you something. So the Father's going to talk to you. Now that the Father has talked to him, giving you something to do today, and if he hasn't, he's going to. And then your breathing is still slowing down. And now you're coming back. You're coming back to where you were before. And whenever you want, you can open your eyes and you can be back here. And there you are. That's one way of relaxing. Today, I think I fell asleep myself. And I didn't know what I was saying after a while. But that's what happens when you stay up too late at night. Don't stay up too late at night like I did. Hi, Donald. That's Donald. Donald, and it's not Duck. Don't be silly. Hi, Tommy. Okay, Renee. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. So, well, I'm glad you're here. Um, yeah, we meditate every morning, but we don't do it that way. We just read from a book and then we think about it. That's another way of meditating. Just think about what you read, just a couple of lines, and then just think about them, and that's good meditation too. Oh, I'm so sleepy. Like I said, don't stay up late at night watching movies with a friend. It's sad because the Joey's right here, I think. Yeah, and yeah, didn't we stay up late? Yes, and no good because then you the next day you're falling asleep half the time. But anyway, this time it's okay because we don't have much to do here, kind of. Although now it's getting hectic because marriages are coming up and we don't know what to do. Poor people, and they want to have more people than we can have. And I hope this thing is almost at an end. Hmm. Well, today I'm gonna give you a free time because today I'm really, really pooped, and I don't want to fall asleep on you. So I'm gonna let you go early. And unless you have questions, see, you never have questions from me. If you have questions, I'd wake up because then my mind is working. But today I didn't really do too much. I didn't prepare too much. So Marlene is there, and Andrew, and Donald, Donald, and Tommy. Hi, Tommy. And so nobody has any questions at all on religion or on, like somebody asked a question about tattoos. I mean, if you have tattoos, get some rest. Yes, I need rest. If you have tattoos, it's okay. It's just that they confuse people. People are ignorant. They read something in the Bible or somebody tells them something and it sounds exciting and the guy doesn't know what to do. He wants to start a church, okay? So he studies the Bible for about 2 weeks and then he goes downtown, gets a certificate, starts a church, and then there you are. Can't do that. You have to study it. Otherwise, you lead people astray, like, for instance, in silly little things like tattoos. You know what they call Jesus's wounds? They're called stigmata. You've heard of that. You know what stigmata is translated into from the Greek? Tattoos, the tattoos of Jesus. So they got the tattoos of Jesus, the wounds. Some saints have those, like Francis of Assisi. He had the tattoos of Jesus. Father Pio had the tattoos of Jesus, bleeding, sometimes. But that's so interesting, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, it's something else. So tattoos. Um, in the Bible, it says don't cut yourself, okay? But they're talking about a ritual slashing of yourself. It has nothing to do with tattoos, okay? What they used to do is, like we just read a while ago in the what they did in this ritual where if the gods didn't respond to them, they would cut themselves, slash till the gods responded. Well, sometimes they never do, so they slash themselves, blood all over the place. Okay, that was a ritual. It's nothing to do with tattoos. But people say, oh, if you carve yourself. Well, now they have this thing called cuttings, and people are cutting themselves. They're cutters. It's so stupid. I can't believe it. But it's so sad that kids get into it. They get paralyzed into doing things like that, and then they start cutting. I had one kid who was cutting themselves like the devil sign, a circle, and then that weird star. Oh my God! I called the parents, and then he had to go to a psychological treatment, and then he was allowed to go home and realize what he was doing. But yeah, and he changed a lot. He got help, and he changed a lot. So nobody has questions. Shame on you. Shame, shame, shame. No questions. Write them down here. All you do is type them. You must have questions about the religion or about whatever. Come on. You guys are too much. It doesn't take long to type something on the little those little comments that you make or the live chat over here. No questions at all. Let me put down no questions. Oops, sorry. Okay, let me put down no questions. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. Nobody has questions. It's very sad, and I keep on asking questions and questions, but you have no mercy. You're merciless. You're ruthless. Like for instance, that man that had a girlfriend. Her name was Ruth, and he used to put her in the back of the bike. And one day he hit a bump, and he rode away. He rode away ruthlessly. Get it? Ruthlessly, without Ruth. Oh boy, that's a crummy joke. So nobody. If you don't, then I'm going to go and rest because I have to rest today. Give me about 15 minutes of rest, and then I'll be okay. Yet nobody has questions. I'll write them for next time we meet. Well, thanks a lot. Okay. So write some questions for the next time we meet. You don't have any questions now? No questions at all. Okay. Well, have a nice afternoon. And I'll see you next Monday when I'm okay and I won't stay up late and watch movies. Bye bye. Bye bye.